I just had to press record. Definitely. 'Cause, like, what the heck? The sunset is this beautiful, and it must be shared. Always an honor. Always an honor, right? To really feel into the present moment. It feels very rewarding to relax into the presence of now, because now is all that matters. Our mind is tied up to situations through people, places, things that you're deeming as less than desirable experiences, and you're not seeing the gift that it can really provide you with. And that is the gift to see more of yourself through that experience. It's mirroring back to you exactly what it is that you need to see to grow, no matter how painful it is. Now, again, the more traumatic it could appear as, it catches your attention. It unmistakably catches your attention. And you have to look at it face on, which, again, all it is just looking at ourselves to expand upon our current perception of self. If we don't continue to focus on how we can grow on a personal level, and we're so responsive to other people's energy affecting us and bringing us down, as I mentioned previous, whatever attachments you have to people, places, things, events, situations, need to be reevaluated to see if they're still in your highest good, because advancing into higher levels of perspectives is going to allow you to see how expansive you are. There are unlimited perspectives to see any one thing, shape, or form. There's like unlimited perspectives. So why are you choosing the perspective you have if it's bringing you down in some way? What is there to learn from that? And can you grow and expand from that? Absolutely. Being self-reflective is a responsibility to ourselves. It's a commitment to ourselves. I mean, it really does take complete honesty to self, like to see your surroundings in a way that it is always in perfect divine order. Nothing's out of place, nothing's broken, nothing's missing, nothing's out of order. It's just all in order, because it's mirroring back to you exactly what you need to see to remember all that you are. So at any given moment, whatever you're seeing, if it's not benefiting your perspective to expand and seeing yourself, because there is no limit to you. This is the whole thing. The unlimitedness of all that you are needs to be remembered on a grand scale, because the logical mind has it can't interpret infinity, eternal. The logical mind has restrictions to its beliefs of what infinity could be. Really, even in imagination, it's difficult to interpret infinity. But with imagination, you get closer. So that's the idea there, is when you use your imagination. to get yourself there, to see all that you are in an imaginative way. Like if you were to imagine yourself like all healed, you didn't have any traumas, you don't have any tension anybody, you just feel free, you feel good, you feel relieved of all any pressures, strains, responsibilities that were weighing you down before. I mean, doesn't mean the responsibilities go away, but you were able to manage them in a way that it's no longer, you manage the attachment to believing something was bad about it in the first place. You release your attachment to that, not necessarily the responsibility itself. And then you just look at it in a brand new way, and you respect it, you honor it, you appreciate it. Because in some way, shape, or form, you are agreeing to experience that for your benefit. If you didn't agree to experience something, then it won't ever appear before you. Make your agreements based on what feels right for you on a heart-based level. Logical mind is limited in so many ways. We don't want to, the ego thinks that it's directly linked to your self-reflection, and it takes accountability. Like it doesn't like to hear that you need to shift in perspectives. The ego is all like, why? It's been working this whole time. Well, okay, it's working on the level that you need it, right? Yeah. Well, can you open the door to seeing that hey, if I focus on this, it could even be more expansive than I ever thought? Sure, absolutely. But you have to open the door. There's unlimited, ways to perceive yourself. So why aren't we seeking the unlimited ways that we can perceive ourselves? We are completely infinite expressions of self. Like, are we seeing ourselves like that? No. Like, we're not seeing the vastness that we really are, and how important every breath we take really is. That's right. Let's breathe in and out slowly, and start being honest with taking accountability for yourself. That's really what it comes down to. We are only accountable for ourselves. Nobody else is. The only one that could ever identify ourselves as who we are is us. Nobody has the right to judge you and say that you are a certain character, because if they're not living in their authenticity, if they're operating out of disempowerment because they're judging, well, then they're not able to accurately view the truth of all that someone is. Only that person has a responsibility to do that, and I take complete accountability for expressing myself in my most authentic way that I've ever understood authenticity to be. It's so much more expansive in this world of infinite expression of selves, right? So you continue to build upon that because there's no limit to your expression of seeing yourself as an infinite being. Your limitlessness of self, and we just are not seeing it that way. Based on attachments to things that are weighing us down, to different belief systems and or perspectives, which provide us an opportunity to learn a lesson, to let go of that, because that negative weighing energy on your psyche or on your mind, or whatever you want to call it, even in your energy body, whatever you want to refer to it as, it's just energy, right? That is weighing you down. Anything that is not in alignment with the universe and or of creation, which is in a constant state of motion. If you're hanging on to things and wanting to try to control things, you're out of alignment with creation, with the universe. Find all the different ways that you can place yourself in a state of allowance for anything and everyone, just the way it is. You're placing yourself in a complete state of allowance, in alignment with creation. So it's more and more and more you get to reveal to yourself all the different ways that will place you more in alignment by accepting everything that it is, especially when it comes to other people, because other people do not have to play any role in how you feel based on their interaction with you. People haven't taken accountability for themselves because they don't know how, so you fall dependent upon other people. So we learn a lot of our lessons through other people, through relationships. It's a big part of the process. So interpreting that you are the only one that's responsible for you, nobody else has the right to claim how you feel any given day. If they're in your face trying to, for example, weigh you down energetically by however they choose to do that, then you can clearly see that that is just mirroring back to you what it is that you need to release control of. There's something that you're trying to control. You're mirroring back to yourself that they're trying to control. And that awareness itself allows you to release that weight. 11:11. Don't fall down and not find a way to pick yourself back up, because I get knocked down and I get up again, and I get knocked down and I get up again. You're gonna keep me down. Sorry. Anyway, that just came out, right? I get knocked down and I get up. So when we get down, it's not if we're gonna get knocked down, because we're so busy trying to control things so that we don't get knocked down. Like, oh, I don't want to get knocked down, so I am doing all these things to protect myself. Nope. Chances are you're still gonna get your ass knocked down. Very likely there is something that'll happen that will sit your butt down, either on a chair or all the way down on the ground, or, who knows how far down. But yeah, smacked in the face and sat down. I don't know, but our experiences are hard because it's meant to show us more of ourselves, more of our expansive self, and we're not looking at it that way. We're judging the experience as a negative experience, and we're getting attached to the feeling of that experience being negative, and it brings us down even more, and we're not paying attention to what that's meant to reveal to ourselves. It's meant to reveal that we have a perspective that is judging it as a negative experience in the first place. We are not seeing the gift in the hardship, the gift in the pain, the gift in the setback, or whatever illusion is being presented to you because you wanted it to turn out a certain way. And if you lost control over that, then that can be, providing you an opportunity to understand what it means to be authentic with yourself, honest with yourself. You never have to hide anything from anyone ever if you really know how to be self-reflective. The more self-reflective you are, the more aware you are of you having the only right to claim your identity in this world. Nobody else has an influence over their judgment upon you based on their worldview lens, which may be skewed in ways that are out of alignment with your frequency. They're operating out of disempowerment, so of course they're going to place a judgment of which that is going to reflect that level of disempowerment. It's just all energy. It comes together as all energy. And so I am just honored to have been able to exchange this information with you based on this most magnificent, beautiful sunset. Like, wow, it was just gorgeous. Like, I have to press record. I have to share that, that's pretty awesome. So, as I was also taking a whole bunch of pictures, I thought, well, maybe we can just press record. But we really need to start walking around like we're kind of a big deal. We need to get over that whole, like, you're not worthy of that, because that is what's weighing us down. We're not seeing ourselves for all that we are. We're lying to ourselves, and it's self-sabotage, it's self-destruction, it's self-inflicted pain because of belief systems that aren't seeing how vast we are in our nature. vast, infinite expressions, and we feel so limited and restricted to the demands of everything around us and everyone around us. We've maybe smothered ourselves around people that it's difficult for us to be able to have a time to self-reflect in the first place. They're just always around, right? You really need to get isolated more and more. You really got to get isolated. Well, it's part of the process of, you really seeing yourself for you. You got to spend time with you in order to remember more of you. That's the whole point. Not having any other energy immediately around you other than nature, creation, and or things 1551, things that are meant to be raising your frequency. So whatever that may be for you. So in an organic, way, but nonetheless, you're with yourself. You're by yourself. You're investing time into you to self-reflect. 1616. It's so important to spend time to self-reflect. This is what will allow you to see the beauty that you really are. You're more beautiful through infinity, beyond belief, and people don't understand what that means. For example, you are the beauty of a beautiful sunset, a perfectly sacred, geometrically balanced sunset. That's what we see as beautiful, all the colors of all the light, right? Or every sunrise, and or both, because they are both awesome. They both have a higher level of opportunity for you to be able to connect with the energy that can help cleanse you. 1717. So always be responsible with yourself and taking accountability for yourself and taking ownership over, being able to claim your own identity. Nobody else has the right to claim your identity for you. They don't know you, you do. Especially if you're highly self-reflective, that plays a huge role, because you're dropping the ego to be able to see yourself honestly and in a raw form. Loving yourself for all of your, perceived imperfections, as the ego calls it. So, making sure that you really invest time in yourself is truly the most rewarding thing you could ever do. Because it's about your worldview. It's about your own worldview that matters. If you are breathing, then your worldview matters. It matters to your experience while you're here. And if you're expansive in the infinite expression that you are, you'll be open to all the limitless different ways to perceive things, to be able to benefit from this earthly experience. You have something to celebrate while we're here, and we're not operating out of that celebration. We're operating out of as a heavy responsibility because of how much we want to judge the challenges. And that judgment alone weighs us down. There's some belief system that supports why we judge things in a negative way. There's always something that supports it. So, understanding that we have a responsibility to ourselves, and if we're willing to invest that time in ourselves, it's going to make it's going to make you feel like you made the best decision of your life. Because you'll start feeling more elevated and more free. You'll be more at peace. You don't try to control things outside of you anymore. You now realize that everything outside of you is operating in a way that's meant to look chaotic, but it doesn't have to be. You can handle things with grace when you take time-related limitations, restrictions off your worries, off your concerns, because everybody is running around with a time-related or multiple time-related restrictions, right? We become attached to time in ways that aren't benefiting us through the expression of our infinite self. Our whole relationship with time does shift as we continue to expand our perspective of self, and that alone helps you interpret divine timing versus controlled, limited timing. Divine timing is ever expansive. So there's no restriction on it. And so that allows you to see more of yourself too. There's so many different things that you can take a look at to understand that we need to focus on things that really matter and stop giving our energy away to people, places, and things that are just weighing us down. And that's the truth. 2121. We really need to understand that we are responsible for our own perspective of things. We don't have to change the things around us in order for us to experience something different. We change our perspective about it, and that's what shifts our worldview as a completely new experience, even if it's the exact same thing that just happened prior to your shift. It's a continuation of events that don't shift, but you shift, right? And that shift in you is everything. That's the whole idea. Being more, placing that more in the forefront of our mind, that we need to make ourselves as a priority in a way that we never looked at before. Or maybe we have, and we thought maybe that was going to be perceived as being selfish and or whatever. Oh no, what other people think. Well, that's part of seeing what you need to release. 2222. You're always going to have experiences in your life that are meant to mirror back to different things that will see yourself in a more expansive way. So whatever it irritates in you, whatever pain you feel, whatever is bothersome with you, that's a way for you to see why you have a negative energetic attachment to that. What attachment to a belief system do you have? And that's really what it is. Like, drop all beliefs, right? Is it possible for you to even imagine what it means to be beliefless? Like, you don't give that energy to the belief itself. You just allow it to be what it is, based on the vastness that it is. I mean, that alone allows you to really understand that our choices are everything. And so I'm going to be talking about that at another glorious time. But I am in the greatest honor to be able to exchange energy with you and be able to share the beautiful sunset that was appearing before me, that I wanted to share with you, and whatever wanted to be spoken was spoken in a way that I hope allows you to see the importance of how big of a deal you really are. Like, gosh dang it, I can just slap that message into people's faces. Like, you are kind of a big deal, and you're not operating in empowerment. Like, let's go, man. Like, man, like, everybody would be walking and talking so differently if they just knew how limitless they really are. And that's the idea behind the messaging of which that wants to flow through me, is sharing that, because we have infinite ways to see ourselves. There's no end to it. And that truth is a gift in itself. 2424. So, yes. Just breathe in and breathe out slowly to be able to connect with yourself, and it'll be made clear as to what it is that you think is going to be best for you, to see how you can be self-reflective more in an authentic way. Not necessarily an honest way, because the ego wants to judge things and justify things and saying, yeah, it's honest because of this. Well, no, truly just the way it is, with no justification, no explanation, no reasoning. no crutch to be able to give reason to. You release all that. And that is the beauty of it. That's the energy releasement. You get to expand and see more of all that you are and the beauty that you are. You are a very unique expression of light that is so talented, so gifted, so miraculously wonderful, but yet you don't see yourself as that. 9 times out of 10, you don't see yourself as that. You might maybe here and there throughout the day, your ego might be like influencing it. Kind of a big deal today and now. And then like 3 hours later, you're like, oh, the demands of the day or whatever happened in a way that you didn't want it to, and so you're not releasing judgment of the experience. But no, it's just really that's what it is. I'm trying to release the judgment of things. But I am so blessed to be able to share in this energy with you. I love you. And always wish the best upon anybody and everyone that could possibly have ears on the words that are spoken through me. Anybody that's hearing the words that are spoken, that's an energy connection. And that is an honorable exchange. Everyone is just another version of ourselves, and if we stop living a lie that we need to judge other people for the decisions they make, that's just weighing us down. That's not allowing us to see that they have whatever lessons they need to make based on their own decisions. You just completely release that. You have no need to judge anyone, anyone outside of you, and that frees you. And that's the whole idea of being able to release the attachments to things and places. Nothing outside of you changes, just all of you inside of you changes. And it allows you to become free. And that's ever expansive all in itself. So, good night, my beautiful loved ones. Namaste.